Today, I'm going to explain Attraction, a 2017 Russian science fiction and action film. The film begins with Yulia, the daughter of a Russian military leader, telling a story about her deceased mother and her loneliness despite living with her father. During class, the teacher is explaining an astronomical phenomenon that is occurring on Earth, and a nerd named Google appears to have a crush on Yulia because he is always trying to help her answer the teacher's questions. Yulia asks her father, Colonel Valentin Lebedev, for permission to see a meteor shower that evening after school, but he refuses, claiming it is for her safety. She calls her badass boyfriend, Tyoma, who suggests she disobey her father because it is a once-in-a-lifetime occurrence. Tyoma eventually transports Yulia to the roof of a building where everyone is anticipating the meteor shower, while Yulia meets her girlfriend, Svetlana. The couple decides to have a good time in Svetlana's apartment, leaving her alone on the rooftop. Meanwhile, an alien spaceship can be seen traversing the solar system. It is suddenly hit by one of the meteors, causing it to malfunction and enter the Earth's atmosphere at high speed. When the Russian military detects the falling alien spaceship, it fires missiles at it because it does not slow down, causing it to lose speed. The spaceship begins to fall toward the city, destroying several structures, including Svetlana's apartment. This collision kills Svetlana instantly while shocking the couple, who nearly falls from the building. It finally comes to a halt after collapsing several buildings and killing hundreds of people. Because the spaceship could be a nuclear bomb, the Russian military rushes to the crashing ship in the impact zone and attempts to make contact with them while evacuating the city. Colonel Lebedev and Mikhail Polsky, a State Duma deputy, approach the ship for the first time to make contact with an ancient creature, presumably alien. Several shooters are also stationed in case of a surprise attack. Mikhail attempts to greet the alien, who appears to understand them and attempts to communicate with them in an unidentified language. A few moments later, Lebedev reports to his superiors that he has reached an agreement with the aliens to keep a safe distance from them while they repair the broken spaceship. Some higher-ups suggest they launch an attack to completely destroy it, but the colonel refuses to provoke the aliens and instead chooses to observe. Meanwhile, Yulia awakens to discover that her girlfriend has died. She also sees the news on TV, which reveals that his father is in charge of the operation and that protective structures have been built around the spaceship's 1-kilometer radius. She then leaves the hospital and mourns the death of her friend. Colonel Lebedev then takes his daughter home, where she must temporarily live with her grandmother. Despite the crash, the students continue to attend school, and the teacher expresses his excitement at the prospect of meeting an extraterrestrial civilization. The students are angry at the aliens because they believe the aliens are to blame for the deaths of their friends and family members, and the military has taken no action. Yulia then steals her father's gun and travels to Tyoma's gang hideout, where Tyoma and his friends intend to spread negative comments about the aliens on social media. She begs them to go to the quarantine zone to avenge the death of her girlfriend. They infiltrate an old processing plant and eventually reach the zone. Tyoma suggests Yulia stay in the car while the others explore the nearby buildings, where they discover an alien creature that has fallen through the ceiling. Meanwhile, Yulia defies her boyfriend and silently ascends to Svetlana's apartment room, where an alien creature unexpectedly appears and shocks Yulia. While Tyoma and his friends arrive and attack the mysterious creature, the alien saves her from falling and tries to communicate with her. It slips and loses his grip, causing it to fall to the ground. They rush up to the creature, and Tyoma discovers blood with human-like characteristics. It turns out to be exoskeleton armor, and Yulia notices a dying alien creature with the same physical form as humans, but she ignores him. They then sneak away with the armor and the mysterious thing. Later that night, Yulia is unable to sleep and decides to return to the quarantine building. She rescues the alien and hides its body inside the car when she arrives. The next day, she approaches Google, who plans to study medicine after graduation. She informs Google that she owes the alien and wishes to help him. Google concludes that his anatomy is similar to that of humans, so they transport him to a hospital because he has lost a lot of blood. They perform a blood test on him and discover that he belongs to the same blood group as Yulia. She decides to give him her blood, and it works. He abruptly awakens and grabs her hand, transferring his metal bracelet to her. While taking a bath, she notices that the metal bracelet attracts and controls water. Meanwhile, the military army recovers and investigates the shield-like alien thing. The colonel is also aware that the thing has the ability to control water. On the other hand, a fisherman is surprised to discover that the water near the alien vessel has mysteriously vanished. The scientist concludes that the ship draws water and uses it to repair itself because 30% of the ship's external damage has been repaired. Meanwhile, the alien awakens and manages to communicate in Russian. He introduces himself as Hacken and explains that he is searching for a device known as Shilk. He gets dressed and goes out on his own. Officers on patrol notice him and transport him to a police station for questioning. Tayoma and his friends investigate the exoskeleton and discover that it is suitable for human use. One of his friends inadvertently activates the armor, causing the gang to panic. Tayoma contacts Colonel Lebedev and decides to turn over the exoskeleton to the military, but he is unavailable at the time. They come across a crowd that is enraged because the military has rationed the water supply. One of them attempts to provoke the crowd, resulting in a fight between the officers and the crowd. Tayoma, who was trying to break up the fight with good intentions, is hit in the back by one of the officers and arrested. Lebedev arrives soon after, but Tayoma cancels his plan to give the exoskeleton to the military. The police officer is perplexed when she cannot find any fingerprints on Hacken's finger while being questioned. Yulia arrives at the police station a few moments later to free Hacken. Unfortunately, Tayoma is also in the same room when he discovers Yulia, and he is extremely disappointed by her actions. She decides to bring the alien to the perimeter in order for him to meet her father. While they're on their way, Hacken explains that he needs Shilk to return to his planet. Yulia must lie about being pregnant when she arrives so that her father can meet her. She introduces Hacken to the colonel while silently taking her father's access card and handing it to the alien, who has been dispatched by her enraged father. Hacken disguises himself as a scientist and infiltrates the laboratory, retrieving the Shilk from the unidentified thing. It takes a while for the scientists to realize he is not Colonel Lebedev. They immediately sound the emergency siren. After that, Hacken finds Yulia and Lebedev and orders his men to drive them home. Tayoma is finally released, and he and his friends begin planning the revolt. They modify their car, manufacture Molotov cocktails, and sell baseball bats. After that, he apologizes and begs Yulia to join the movement, but she refuses because she prefers the alien. Hacken needs to get the Shilk into the ship right away, but they have to wait until midnight because they can't get past the guards there. She brings him home and introduces him to her sick dog. Hacken realizes the dog is in pain, so he brings the Shilk closer to the dog, which magically cures his illness, and the dog is now healthy again. Yulia learns from the television while eating that Hacken has now become a military fugitive. When her father's military convoy arrives at home, they flee, and Hacken warns her not to smoke because it is bad for her health. Meanwhile, the anti-alien and anti-military video has gone viral, affecting a large number of people. The video implies that humans must defend their planet from superior beings. Tayoma and his friends, it turns out, created and posted the video to spread hatred. Yulia and Hacken pay a visit to Google and borrow some of his clothes. Following that, the two attend a concert where Colonel Lebedev cannot find them. Hacken tells Yulia to hold his hand while dancing and shows her his planet. He claims that humans are not allowed to approach their ship because Saul is afraid that humans will steal their advanced technology. Unfortunately, one of Tayoma's friends notices them and informs him directly, which enraged Tayoma. Yulia escorts the alien back to his ship through the abandoned building after the party, where they finally kiss and Yulia confesses her true feelings to the alien. Suddenly, Tayoma and his friends appear and begin ruthlessly beating up the alien. When Tayoma slaps Yulia, Hacken decides to fight back. He demonstrates his superiority by easily knocking everyone down. One of the men tries to shoot Hacken, but the bullet instead hits Ruslan. When the guards arrive, Tayoma and his friend manage to flee. Tayoma, distraught over the death of his best friend, instructs his friend to spread fake news that the alien killed the man and invites everyone on the internet to riot and attack the spaceship. Tayoma delivers a provocative speech to the assembled crowd, telling them that the military has been protecting the aliens, not them, and that they must reclaim their home planet. The military chooses to defend the line rather than open fire, but Tayoma's group goes on the rampage and manages to breach the barricade. Meanwhile, Tayoma makes an attempt to use the alien's exoskeleton. When the spaceship feels threatened, it summons several aliens in modern suits to defend it. Yulia reveals to her father at the military base that Hacken is not human and eventually disobeys her father, threatening to kill herself, because she believes that the right thing to do right now is to return the alien to his ship rather than calling a full military assault. She immediately drives Hacken back to his spaceship, where Tayoma appears in his new suit. He wrecks the car, causing Yulia to pass out. Hacken has no choice but to fight him. When Yulia wakes up and hits the exoskeleton with the car, Tayoma overpowers the alien and attempts to kill him. Colonel Lebedev and his soldiers, meanwhile, lower their weapons, demonstrating to the aliens that they are harmless. Tayoma is ejected from the suit after the exoskeleton loses an arm. He grabs the rifle and shoots the couple mercilessly. When Lebedev discovers that his daughter has been shot, he immediately orders his men to arrest Tyoma. The aliens work with the humans to bring the dying Hakan, Yulia, and Colonel Lebedev aboard. They then place them in a healing capsule while Lebedev communicates with the ship's AI, Saul. Saul, who speaks Russian, informs the colonel that they are not permitted to visit Earth because it is thought to have an extremely aggressive social environment. Hakan believes there is a chance of making contact with Earth and travels there to investigate. Saul believes Yulia's genuine affection for Hakan will have a positive impact on the outcome of the observation. Yulia is resurrected shortly after, and the spaceship departs from Earth while releasing excess water. Yulia says at the end of the film that one stranger in the far distant cosmos believed in humankind's capabilities more than humans themselves. Subscribe to see more videos like this, enable notifications, and leave a like to support the channel. Thank you for watching.